that should do it. Let me open up Twitch to see if we are in fact live.
If it makes it
All
High
right,
quality.
we're good. Yeah,
Okay.
we are live.
All right. Well, do you have any idea about what these teams usually pick? Or
No clue. These are
yeah.
two teams that are new for me. We
Mm-hmm.
do have a little bit of an ad break. I'm gonna drop the message in chat
Ad
as well.
break.
Yeah, I don't have controls over the ads, but I guess they just got like affiliate, and so
Uh-huh.
they run like 3-minute ads sometimes. Sometimes there's a mod in chat to keep it like in between game breaks, but other times
It
I'll just have my eyes on the screen and maybe pausing the game to buy time for the ads.
okay. Well, Nautilus first pick. How do you feel about first picking Nautilus?
I think it's interesting. It's not that it's completely like not first pickable, but I'd rather you take like an AD or take something else because you give over something like the Braum that's still open right now, and
Well,
you really
Morgana.
let yourself get counterpicked. Yeah, or Morgana, and that can be a little bit of a flex as we have seen some
Yeah,
Morgana
that
mid
could be.
action.
I mean, funnily enough, I think that's just a two-way flex. I don't think people are playing Morgana support as much, huh?
That's fair. Yeah. Either way though, it'll be a good kind of pick into the
Nautilus.
Nautilus. Really shut down
Yeah.
that ulti point and click engage that I think is the reason they first picked this. But I think great answer from Insane Banana Posse. On the other
Yeah,
side,
and
Sion and Morgana, those are two characters Nautilus does not have a fun time playing into.
yeah, and I mean, now it's just a wet noodle fight up top lane as well. Which is a complete 180 from the last game we watched where they were just duking it out. I mean, I don't know, maybe this tanks decide to fight to the death as well. That would be fun. Kai'Sa Nautilus, classic.
Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. I think Small Brain maybe tipping their cap a little there with the Nautilus first pick. I know that's something we at the Ninja Turts have done before, is just going for that really powerful 1-2. Always going to have some good lane pressure, going to have some good team fight scaling into the late game. Looks like Zaya is going to be the answer for Insane Banana and Cracklier Ace, I believe is how I would say that. Zaya and Kaisa, just very classic matchup. You can match it pretty well. Ulti for ulti, it's very much a skill matchup and more dependent on the supports for who's going to get the upper hand there. So we'll
And if
see where
we
that ends up going.
and if we're thinking that the Morgana is going mid or jungle, what do you want to see from Insane Banana to pair with the Zaya bot lane into the Nautilus? Are you thinking just Braum?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it already, and it's still open. It's Braum is just really good into Nautilus because Nautilus can't ever hook without potentially dying. You really just are forced to kind of stare him down. So Braum would be
Mm.
good. I think other than that, if you want to really throw it back and go for a volatile lane, you throw an engaged support back their way. Stuff like Alistar, Rel would be okay. I wouldn't be a fan of Rakan into Nautilus. Just
Mm-hmm.
noting the Rakan because the Zaya is there. Gonna be
And the
banned
Rakan.
anyway though. So really interesting to see where this draft is going on the side of Insane Banana because I think they both sides have a great sort of first three pieces. We'll see how they round it
Yeah,
out.
I am interested to see ideally where the Morgana is as well. I think after trying it out the last few times, Morgana mid is actually just disgustingly broken. And I don't know when they're gonna nerf that. They probably should at some point because my lord, is that thing good? But I guess we can see that Small Brain's thinking that Morgana might be going jungle here, so they're banning out the Talia. Or it could
Yeah.
be. I haven't seen Talia jungle really in a long time, so I doubt they'd be playing for that either. So okay, so it is the Morgana jungle. Again with that AP mid jungle, I'm still like not the biggest fan of it, but
I'm agreeing.
Morgana is not the worst pairing because if Morgana ever hits a Q, it is just a little unstable because if you can either pop down the Victor W uh, to slow someone down or try to get a stun on them that way, hoping they don't walk out of it, and then Morgana Q over the top. But Merc Shreds is just going to be high value again this game. Aurora into Victor, good matchup. Uh, Victor does have just better lane presence, but I think Morgana is just going to be better with the team comp that Small Brain's picking right now. You know, a lot of die that they have going on. So fits their theme, so to speak.
I agree. I think we have a very clear identity coming out of the small brains draft right now. Looking to dive
Yeah.
in with all these characters. I'm expecting another kind of dive-based jungler to help round it out. No! So here's some spice.
Oh,
Okay.
Nautilus jungle. Okay.
Wow. I guess that would explain the Nautilus first pick.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of Nautilus jungle. I think it's very
I
snowbally,
know you have. Uh-huh.
but it's very easy to execute, most importantly. So gives you something to
I
play
guess
off of. And then Nami, though, I don't know if that's the flex pick I would have wanted when you throw that into the jungle.
yeah, I mean, I guess good on Insane Banana at least to be able to hold back on their support pick and just go mid on R4. I guess it is just Morgana support.
Okay, so yeah, we're just overthinking draft a little bit and maybe going too standard meta here. Um,
Yeah.
Morgana support, I have my thoughts on it. I don't think it's that good.
Uh-huh.
It's just,
And explain why you don't think it's good.
well, of course, it's just a very risky pick. I feel like in the bottom lane, it's pretty easy to dodge the snares, and if you're specifically playing it into like a mage matchup, something like the Nami, into range, you have a tough time hitting those. You can get poked out easily. Versus in the mid lane in the jungle, you can really put resources behind the Morgana and get to the point where if a binding ever connects, it's going to be a one shot. Versus
Hmm.
kind of just slowly falling behind is what it usually does in the support role that I've seen. So my kind of 2 cents on it. I think most ADC players would kind of agree they don't love playing with a Morgana. It tends to
Hmm.
seed lane pressure. And, if you're not a Caitlyn, for example, then you really don't benefit too much from having the Morgana. I think you already have the Xayah for anti-dive and peel.
I
Uh,
mean, and I'd assume even with a Caitlyn, generally you prefer a Lux, no? Or is that
Me
just for like the
personally,
lane?
yeah, I think Lux is just a little more well-rounded in terms of giving better poke in the bottom lane and
Hmm.
contesting over waves, having maybe a tad less utility with the just W shield versus the spell shield. But overall, I
Yeah.
think Lux is kind of a better pick. But I see the Morgana vision this game specifically because of the Nautilus. And
Okay.
Small Brain, more importantly, I think the Nami pick will be interesting to see how the Nami Kaisa lane pilots, because I heavily prefer some sort of engage support with Kaisa. It'll give you that extra passive stacks a lot more easier. And then
Hmm.
that really helps you have this all-in lane kill pressure.
Yeah, and I guess overall between the two comps, what do you feel? I definitely am thinking that Small Brain's comp is probably a little easier to execute, just because just put down all your button, like throw down all your buttons, at the same time, and then just try kill someone. Specifically, pick whatever side of the map or team fight that Morgana is furthest away from, and just throw a Nautilus Q at it, and just send everyone in. Um, but on the other side, Insane Banana does have at least decent counter engage with Xayah Morgana. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily counter engage, but at least some kind of decent absorption of the engage. You have Morgana ulti. You don't have really anything to bait out Xayah ulti with the Black Shield. If Morgana is just like sitting on Xayah the whole game, you do have that beefy front line to tank hooks when he needs to in the Scion. And Volibear, I mean, he's just pretty like well rounded, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Volibear. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes it looks insanely good. Sometimes it just looks absolutely useless past 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Volibear's kind of an interesting pick here. I'm someone who prefers Volibear top. I feel like jungle, you have to get something going, otherwise you're just going to be useless. We'll see how it plays out here, though, because I do think Insane Banana have better scaling if they can keep their carries safe. So it's going to be
Hmm.
the onus is going to be on small brains to really snowball And maybe that's what the volley bear is for, is something that can 100% contest the Nautilus early. Volley bear is not going to have any problem getting hooked and just turning the fight.
Yeah.
Because
I guess
if
one
this
thing you can
Kaisa
say,
Aurora
yeah.
get ahead, I think that's what I'm scared about. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I guess one thing you could say is that at least around the mid jungle, it is pretty iffy for this Victor. Uh, he can farm from range and he can exert a lot of lane pressure, mostly through poke and if he can dodge the E from Aurora. A lot of it is just kind of playing around the electrocute, trying to avoid getting the 3-stack passive hit onto you while you're trying to poke back at the same time. But if this Victor ever gets his flash blown with a Nautilus jungle, it might not have a great time. So I think that might be a point of attack for Small Brain to look to, at least until Victor gets E upgrade, where he can just wave clear and chill. Um, but otherwise, I'm guessing it looks like the lanes overall are actually pretty even. I mean, I guess probably slight advantage for Small Brain bot lane just because of the Nami into the Morgana. And yeah, I don't know. This seems like I'm actually interested to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to be on our boy Hairwiz. He's subbing in for Small Brains. I think this is his old team actually, so a lot of familiarity
Mm,
there. But I think the onus is going to be on him, especially on this Nautilus. This is more of as much as it can power farm and clear, you need to get a few kills to get it rolling, to get to a quicker Faded Ashes buy, Leandry's buy, whatever, and really have damage follow up on your hook. So, you
mm.
know, I'd love the chance to gas up Jay Moose after all he's done for us. So I'm excited. I'm maybe going to be a little biased pulling for the small brain squad here.
Mm.
They got a little more fun comp to watch as well with that explosiveness. Ours are
Yeah,
finally
is
coming
that
through.
typically what Nautilus is built? They typically build faded ashes.
That's what I honestly haven't seen too much Nautilus jungle, but that's what you kind of need to do when you take the
Mm.
Nautilus in the jungle role, is just because your clear with just a Bomby Cinder I think would be so slow that
Mm.
you have to go some sort of AP item, and I believe that's going to be Faded Ashes into Leandries, and then you go full tank, kind of the Maokai build, if you will. Um,
Ah.
and I
And is
think
that
you
usually like a W max first or an E max first?
I yeah, I believe it's Emax first, just because that's what you need to clear camps. We are still in very much a full clear jungle meta, um,
Mm.
even with these heavy gankers. So
It is very
expecting
similar to
E,
a Nautilus mid, where you would max E, just shove and roam,
pretty
which I would
much.
love to see a return for.
Maybe you just got to bring it back.
Hmm.
We can
I
flex it.
guess maybe it's just up to me. Yeah.
Yeah, come watch Ninja Turts in 3 hours. We're gonna first pick the Nautilus ourselves.
Hmm.
Leak our draft strats.
Flex it 3 ways.
I mean, we could. I feel like Woohoo could run up a nice Nautilus.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just want this game to start.
Yeah, you can only talk about draft so much. This is why
Yeah.
sometimes I like delay starting stream until we're a little bit into draft. Because even after you do the draft lull, you have a little bit of downtime before getting into the official client select, and then you have the 3 minute spectator delay. There's only so much to say, especially when I think drafts are pretty even across the board
Yeah.
and well executed on both sides. So just want to get into the action. You can just watch your Tottenham game in the background. I don't think anybody will mind.
That's exactly what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Actually, one of our players got injured, so not great.
Yeesh. Yo.
From how it's looking, Tottenham's on the front foot. We got a couple of players up pushing ahead. Most possession at the time. A couple of really world-class players at the moment. We managed to sign Xavi Simmons. We managed to sign Colomwani. We managed to sign Palinha. Oh no.
Little bit
Well,
of
I guess
troubles.
yeah. Which support is the brainless one? I'm guessing the Morgana. Is that the one that's brainless?
uh, not sure who left the lobby. Um, we'll be getting into it though.
So how's your day been?
Hey, good enough, man. I think I talked to you a little bit before we went live. Slept
Hmm.
in a little bit. I watched
What's
this
sleeping in for
documentary
you? Like
yesterday.
9 p.m., 9 a.m.?
Yeah, like 8:30. I watched this
Yeah,
documentary
you.
yesterday. I got to talk to you guys about it. You
Mhm.
heard of the Mapoho Coalition?
No, what the hell is that?
Okay. Give it a Google. It's kind of sick. I think we may have to like rebrand ourselves next season.
Simopoho Coalition.
Mapogo Coalition.
Mapogo. Oh, Mapoho.
Yeah. It's just a coalition of
Oh,
lions. They basically
lion.
just
Oh, yeah,
ran
yeah,
over
yeah.
Africa for like 6 straight years.
Okay, they went that high. Relax.
I mean, they kind of were.
They were just a product of the times. They were playing against a bunch of farmers, dude.
Matchup merchants. They were just slaughtering cubs to add to their kill count. Come on.
Actually farming low elo.
Unreal. But
Yeah, it
anyways,
is also I do like that you pronounce it that way, but it's also pronounced mapoho. Like you got
Mapoho.
something stuck in your like you got
Okay,
something stuck in your throat, you know what I mean? Like
that's my
mapoho.
bad. I gotcha.
No. It's
Well, I
just
watched the whole documentary last night and I still didn't get it, so it is my bad. They were saying it like that the whole time.
Oh yeah. And
Uh,
this was in South Africa?
it is, yeah. I think it was by one of the
Where?
national parks or something.
That was probably Kruger National Park, no?
I don't know.
Let me actually search this up.
The
I remember seeing this from
Sabi
one of my
Sands.
I watch a lot of Sabi-San region. Yeah, Kruger National Park.
Yeah, nice.
Named after the security company Mapocho Security Services, the coalition's story of dominance and conflict was documented in a well-known series.
It's pretty
Yeah, I
sick.
don't know, dude. Yeah, they seem like low elo merchants to me.
Okay. I'll see what everyone else thinks. Ninja Turtles is
Yeah,
quite a nice
that
name
might
as
be
well.
worth it for a name change then, because we're low elo merchants as well.
We get our one win against one of the traditional lower ranked teams on the power scale here so far.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How long is the delay usually?
It's a 3 minute spectator delay, so I can
Okay.
tell you about the rest of my day is where I was going with that. I
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I woke up 8:30, watched the cage roll video of IG versus JDG. Did you see that?
No, but I do know he's happy because IG is playing T1.
Yes. Okay. It is crazy. It's a good watch. Rookie is the potentially the worst mid laner I have like ever seen.
He's bad now?
He's so washed. You got to watch game 2. Gala is legit. It's probably the biggest 1v9 80 carry performance I've seen all year.
His
Uh,
gala just elo held.
he's so elo held. It's crazy because
Oh
like the
no.
shy, he has his moments. He does all right. Wei and Mako are just hard trolling, and then you have Rookie just missing Annie ults and just walking away
Oh,
from
is that
fights
the
at full
one?
health. It's crazy. It's
Oh no, I watched the KT Gen G game and I watched BDD flash into a wall to engage on Annie. It was great, and then he missed his ulti over the wall as well.
something
It was
about
a
the
really
Annie.
good pick.
You just lock
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Annie
I
and you
watched
lose all sort of mechanical ability.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that and I was like, damn, maybe he's not so different from me after all. Maybe I am just an LCK mid laner.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. You can do it. Just you can flash over walls and hit Annie ults. I've seen that before. Got that in the bag.
Uh, yeah, like one of those skinny walls.
Yeah, little bottom river wall. But yeah, watch that. It's pretty good, dude. Worlds is like right around the corner. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Watch that. Went
This
on a
year's
little
gone by
run.
really quickly.
Had a little fried rice and then made it on time for stream here. Starting game 1, 30 minutes after scheduled start time.
And that's a goal for Tottenham. Nah, never mind, it's offside. Fuck.
Oh. Our new offside rules are implemented, right?
What do you mean by new offside rules?
Like where it's full body versus like one part.
Yeah, I think now it's like they measure it from like the sleeve
Or the sleeve.
or
Okay,
something
yeah.
like that.
I didn't know the exact.
Yeah, no, before it used to be if your, you know, big pinky toe was ahead of the other dude's strand of hair, then it was offside.
Yeah, I got that. That photoshopped like Lukaku offside.
Lukaka?
You know exactly the one I'm talking about, don't you?
I think you mean Lukaku, but yeah, you know,
Sorry, sorry, same
Kaka
thing.
means Kaka means shit in
Oh, my bad.
South
I'm just
Africa.
appropriating like all these cultures at the start. This is why we need to get into game, man. I'm just speaking wrong and
Damn, he's got
creating
his dick
drama.
is offside.
I'm gonna be kicked off of the Midwest cast.
Damn, didn't
All two of the viewers are just gonna report me.
dude, they are fuming right now. All our viewers are
Uh,
very upset with us
One
at
of
this
them is
moment.
me too, just in case an ad starts and I need to like.
I just hope that we start getting some of those bots, that like start offering like OnlyFans services in the Twitch channels.
Yup. I respect the grind. I get that when I stream on personal channel because I just
Mm.
don't bother moderating and then they just roll on in. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay, we're finally getting into game hype. I would love to see the Nautilus level 1. That's just a classic thing that you should be doing every game. Oh, I don't know if they should be doing it every game. I know it's a Ninja Turd special though.
Can confirm. Level 1 on the Nautilus. Strongest in the
Yeah.
game. Make something happen, but doesn't really look like it.
No, looks like Nautilus decided to take a nap in base.
Gotta get items, and they're
So
gonna be stacking anyway. I don't think you win this stack with Morgana Scion, so
that is true. That is a tough. Yeah, so I mean, probably good for them to 5 point. I would like to see. I think what they're gonna do is just kind of slowly poke in. Looks like Casante's kind of hovering around top side just a little bit, trying to see if he can poke his head in, maybe drop a ward. Alright, so they're starting to spot now that there's no one watching the top entrance in red side. So they've dropped a ward down by Raptors on red. I think red team should be aware of this. Generally, you can see them pinging around the top side. They should probably be aware that they've had a ward put down in their top river. It looks like they're pinging the red buff, but I mean, same general vicinity. Um, and from what it looks like now as well, the volley bear is going to be pathing bot to top here. So I guess playing for that Scion, big Scion.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. Maybe War Initiate goes for some sort of cheese kink. I don't think you have any great area to play around, to be fair, but I would generally like to path towards bottom lane. You mentioned the top lane, just wet noodle fight that's likely to ensue. Um,
Yeah.
I'm kind of in agreement with that. It'll just be a lot of seemingly aggressive trading with maybe some grass procs going back and forth. But
Yeah,
wouldn't expect much more than that.
it does look like Nautilus started Wolves, so I guess he's maybe looking for a top gank or maybe an invade
We'll see.
early
I think that just gives you maybe a little more sort of
flexibility.
flexibility. Yeah, take blue buff. Just good clearing mechanics out of Hair Wiz there. Um,
Yeah, I would like to see maybe have Volibear just hover around mid whenever Victor's pushed up because he can be very vulnerable if you can blow that flash. Oh, not Volibear, what am I saying? Nautilus. Okay, so he's decided to, I guess he's clearing from top to bot here.
I like
And they're
that
just
for
going to be...
Nautilus. We're
Yeah, I
already
like
seeing it, how this Morgana pick is just kind of slowly getting poked down. Even though she did hit one binding early, and there's not much follow-up on the side of this Aya, especially at the level 1. And
Yeah.
lets this Kaisa just slowly get the push in and kind of have their way with the lane so far.
It does look like the Xayah should at least know the QE combo, that the Q auto E, the QE auto combo that our ADC doesn't know how to do. So
We'll go exposing that. He'll get there. He'll get there eventually.
yeah, I mean in the mid lane as well. I mean Victor's sitting pretty double P. He's got the mana advantage, so he can just kind of sit in lane, and they both on one party. Victor's just popped his pot now, which means yeah, Aurora's popped her pot, and it's just a better spot for Victor to be in at this moment. He can enforcer base ideally, just kind of poke with E on low minions,
Hmm.
have a better back, and then just be stronger for the post-back lane phase. It does look like Nautilus is looking around bot, but red team starts it out. So slow early game we got going. I mean,
Yeah.
slow, it's pretty normal.
Yeah, just I guess a normal early game. Both junglers full clearing, taking care of the scuttle. Ooh, base cancel narrowly missed.
But
Hairwiz should
that's
be able to
fine
get
for,
this scuttle crab before War Initiate comes in.
yeah.
Junglers are gonna meet. Wouldn't expect the Nautilus to want to fight this. Yeah, just gonna
Hmm.
dredge line himself on out of there. Pretty even. Maybe the one little advantage that is starting to be garnered is on the mid lane side of Insane Banana Posse. This Victor just up a little bit of CS. The rest of the map looks pretty even. A Cole out of Scion. I like that.
That's what I like to see.
We are not looking to kill each other at all. Just farm it up, get a little extra gold, and play for these team fights.
Yeah, I am disappointed that I'm not seeing lethality Scion. Brady would never do that. Brady would play the lane as it's meant to be played as an assassin, but to each their own.
Yeah, I think just a little bit of a better call. One-handed gaming lets him have the kind of team fight impact, which I think is his specialty. He was the Rec League MVP
Hmm. Who
back
was
from
the regular
Split.
MVP?
One-handed gaming, the top laner for Insane Banana Posse.
Okay, okay, I like
Generally
that.
has like really good team fight impact is where he shines. I think he subbed for us one series in one of our other leagues and
Scion's
was
getting
playing
really
some
good
set.
kills with topside here.
That's the power of the Cole. Doing work.
He did miss a minion though, so -1 for that call.
Hey, check chat. You got your cheap followers on streamboo.com.
Lovely, lovely.
Vic the Butcher ticking over to 6, so one-handed gaming has to back up, but Scion level 6 now
Uh,
as well. Nautilus in the mid lane. Maybe we see our first little glimpse of action here as Ghost Tiger
yeah,
getting
I think.
collapsed upon.
Oh,
Zima
I
pops the
don't.
ulti. Dredgeline connects. Follow-up coming through from the Aurora. It's going to be enough damage. And in the top side, an unstoppable onslaught. Dodged away. One-handed gaming dodges the Cassante W. We're going back to the top lane. Forced to flash out. Vic the Butcher flash follow with the Q3. And Tofo strikes. Find the mark. And just like that, Small Brains up 2 kills to 0.
Really good gangs from Small Brains there. I am not quite sure what Ghost Tiger was doing mid lane there. He kind of just started walking towards the lane. I think there you just accept the fact that if you're not going to try dodge the Nautilus hook, you just flash it. But maybe he was thinking it makes the lane harder and he would just rather save the flash. But just good ganks bot and then a solo kill in the top lane from the wet noodle fight, I guess. Now he's up 12 CS. He's got better items at the moment. That should just mean that Cassante is just going to start slowly winning the top lane and both flashes blown top. We got seen Nautilus in the bot lane now, but he's just going to take it back. Not much to do there.
Yeah, pretty much echoing what you said. I would have liked Victor to just use the flash conservatively there, and then in the top lane, Vic the Butcher, great solo kill. The top lane, it was a little close, back and forth. One-handed gaming actually dodging out on the W Pathmaker, that first one. But once Cassante goes all out, does have the advantage in that fight. Scion, until he gets some items, is not going to be tanky enough to just withstand it all. So well played
Yeah.
to the top laner of Small Brains, and now we'll see how this lead kind of gets snowballed. He's starting to just walk up to the tower, hit it for relatively free, and maybe really start putting the pressure on one-handed.
Yeah, I mean, really getting himself a nice little advantage in the top lane. We do see that Victor is still up a few CS mid, but right now, Aurora just has the slight edge item-wise with one Dark Seal up. I don't like that the Aurora bought another pot instead of just getting a refillable, but
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm kind of curious too. Do you think this would be a Roa Victor game?
uh, no.
Okay.
I think when you are one of two damage sources on your team, I mean, you have Volibear, you kind of just want to be building a bit more damage.
Ulti is popped though. A flash bubble coming out of Fidsick finds the mark. Ghost Tiger not able to get out of yet another gank. They are hammering this mid lane, and that is the feats of warfare for kills going over to the side of Small Brains. Hairwiz on the grubs in the meanwhile too.
I mean, yeah, that's just a good use of time from the Nami there. Flash bubble gank Nami, the infamous flash bubble.
I, yeah, and it worked. That isn't something you would think would work. It's again, I think Ghost Tiger want to see him be a little more proactive with this flash. He's, been in control of the lane other than those two ganks, and so maybe Small Brain's
Yep.
just recognizing that and punishing well. But great
That
roam
is
from the Nami.
typically that is typically one of the downsides. Well, I wouldn't say downsides, but one of the oh,
All out
you got
from
to find
Vic.
the top
Trade of
lane.
ultis. Okay.
Yeah, okay. That's typically one of the big downsides playing control mages, especially when you can get any kind of lane control. Looks like we might have a gank top lane here.
Yeah, War Initiate in the top lane, but a TP response coming out of Zima, and now the Volley Bear is forced to run. Hairwiz in the area as well, trying to close the distance. Should be the end of that play. Oh, but Hairwiz with a flash dredge line coming on in, keeps the
Whoa.
play going. Fourth kill over to Small Brains. And yes, the Victor's going to get some stuff back in the mid lane, but you're now looking down a 3-0 Aurora. 6 Darksteel stacks. That Darksteel coming in handy. And Small Brains, we mentioned how they were going to need to snowball from the start, and they are doing exactly that, Sam Lad.
They are doing a great job snowballing. We got another fight here. There's just a lot of fighting after the really slow early game, but I think he should just be able to walk this out. Or unless
Zima
Aurora wants...
does have the ulti
Yeah.
coming up soon. Flashes on forward. Ghost Tiger falling low, and
Whoa.
once again falling down.
This is a scary Aurora now. 4-0. She's gonna have item on back. Just great play from I forget the name of the blue side team, but they're
Small
really doing
brain,
what they
no
should be doing.
mechanics.
They're just from small brain. They're just winning out in the early game, and they're really, I think with those two ganks early mid, they found their focal point, which was to just gank mid lane.
Or
And we
Initiate
got a
flashing
spot.
forward onto Montgomery, but that's going to be cleansed away, and Zima's in the bottom lane here. TP's coming in, so it is going to be a 4 versus 3 in the favor of Insane Banana Posse, but Monogatari strikes first. Zima falling low as well. Ghost Tiger showing up. They get the shutdown onto the Aurora, and now the Kai'Sa is going to be forced to run. No summoners, trying to trade it back on Azaya, forces her flash out. But a great response coming out of Insane Banana Posse, pulling the trigger with Volley Bear. Ghost Tiger giving a little bit of chase here. Hairwiz is in the area if he goes too far. The ulti pops on down, and the flash is used this time away from the dredge line. So 2 kills answered back, 2 for 1, I believe, on the extended play there. But it's still just looking like a great game for Small Brains.
Yeah, I don't like that Victor used his flash there. I think there you can just kind of tank half half your health and just walk it out. There was really no one else to follow up. Nami had no mana there. Yeah, Small Brains, I mean, just firmly in the driver's seat at this point. Basically 1.5k up. Victor, no flash in the bot lane, but he does put down the gravity field, and he should just be able to walk that out. Really good job from Small Brains, I think, figuring out that this Victor is just incredibly vulnerable and just
Staying
hammering
in
him
the
constantly.
area. Gonna look for the dredge line. This time it hits. Victor doesn't have the flash. Spell Shield comes on through the bubble, but Monogatari has enough damage to clean that one up. One-handed
And we
gaming.
got
This is the
flash
second
top
time the
lane.
camera has panned top, and he gets caught out by that Q3 and Tofo strikes and forced to first ulti out of the Pathmaker and then flash out. And this time, with neither of those tools, Zima once again getting on the map. This Small Brain squad is absolutely crushing the early game,
I guess
especially
this
in
is
the
just
solo
what we
lanes.
worry for the Aurora getting really fed like this. The top lane winning and the bot lane winning. I think it's just winning all across the board here. Small Brains just played this early game really well. They've managed to identify a weakness. They've just really hammered this Victor's not having a good time in any of these lanes. It just gets really tough at this point because Victor now needs to side lane to get CS back, and you want to put your Xayah mid so that you can rotate for any of the objectives, but Victor just has to shove and sit back. He can't really push further without any vision, and right now their vision difference is immense, especially... Well, I mean, red side does actually have a pretty decent vision around the river here, but it's not going to really do much because the Xayah is not going to be in any threat in the mid lane. Yeah, I guess from red side, you're just kind of hoping... Now you're just farming, you know? We still have 45 stacks in that call for one-handed gaming that he needs to ideally cash in soon, and we got almost, what, a 40 CS lead in the top lane?
Yeah, you're really looking at Cracklier Ace here on the Xayah, the one member of Insane Banana Posse who is up on gold. Maybe with some oversteps out of Zima and Vic, and with Zaya having that self-peel of the Featherstorm, you can get a few picks, get a few shutdowns back. That's really the only angle I see for them right now. I want to highlight this Morgana. I know I'm maybe hating on it a little much, but every time you pans over and you see the root, it's so easy to dodge. Not easy to dodge, but it's easily dodgeable by Monogatari and Fitzik. And that's resulted in a bit of a bot lane lead. Zima popping down the Aurora ult, forcing one-handed gaming to trade his ulti back. And this is that side lane pressure you were talking about where both sides are winning. And even in the mid lane, Monogatari just kind of having his way, walking up with the support of Fitzik.
Yeah, I will say that I think Victor's done a decent-ish job, at least with the farming. Not the best, but he is kind of stabilizing himself. I think the biggest difference right now is the difference in the top lane when it comes to gold. And wow.
Pop! I mean, I was not expecting that much damage, but Zima picking up yet another solo kill.
It looks like we do have a gank coming out in the top lane, but I think he should just be able to get out easily.
Yeah, Banana Posse trying to respond cross map. I like the theory of that play, overload the top side, try to support Ghost Tiger. Cracklier going to be able to clear the mid lane relatively safe, but you are bleeding out on the side lane. Zima, after the early lead that the rest of his team was able to give him, this Aurora is running over the map,
And it
and
does look
I
like
don't see it stopping.
Yeah, and Smallbrain's gonna get first tower in the bot side. I am a big fan of burst mages like Aurora picking up Ludens even into tanks, because typically when tanks build anything early game, they're building for their lane opponent, and I just like the idea, especially even on a Victor this game. I wouldn't even mind seeing a Ludens. He's already gone for the... There's a fight in the
War
top lane
Initiate
now, though.
looking in the top lane. Vic the Butcher is popping the all out, goes unstoppable, is taking a bit of damage. Now Zima TPing into the area. Monogatari on the collapse as well. Aurora looking for the solo kill on the Victor in the top side. They get it. Kaisa kill on the bot side, and a flash ulti forward from Hairwiz. Gonna give chase to Thresh all day. This Morgana trying to run out, already burned the flash. Dredge line for good measure, and yet another fight sweeped on the side of Small Brains. 3 for 1.
Yeah, 15 minutes into the game, almost 3.5k gold, now 4k gold lead on the side of Smallbrains. I think this is going to be, it's not impossible to come back from, but I think Red side is going to have to play these fights extremely conservatively. I think they have to pick and choose their moments. As you can see there, even when they're going for a pick, having any sort of TP on Smallbrain's side, it just means that they can instantly join the fight and just turn it around, because they are inherently stronger on all fronts at the moment. And yeah, that's just a 3-0 tower difference as well. And we got shutdowns across the map for Red side to be able to pick up. So if one team fight does turn in their favor, they will be able to get something back for it. But at the moment, it is not looking great for them. You're just kind of hoping for the Victor to farm up a little bit, get a second item, get his upgrade.
CC is going to come down onto the Nami. That will be 1 kill back over, but Cracklier Ace getting popped by Zima. Voidseeker coming on in from Monogatari, and a flash forward from Zima gets the first kill onto the Zaya. War Initiate caught out as well. The collapse coming through from Smallbrain as they're looking for more. Onto Thresh all day. Zima giving chase, going to get hit by the root, so it's going to be Monogatari's to clean up. Q and Cool Guys don't look at explosions. He walks away, and they start to turn their eyes towards the bottom river and the Drake spawning in 5 seconds.
Yeah, Sign's just going to walk out here. I think it might not be too early to give the MVP to Zima this game. He's just kind of going off on this Aurora, and I think it's the second time now that we've casted and we've seen an Aurora just absolutely take over a game. I guess there's just something to this champion when she gets ahead, she feels incredibly oppressive, especially if she plays like an assassin.
Yep. You think she's going to go Medjai's here? 10 stacks of
I
Dark
hope
Seals?
so. You know what, dude? If you're feeling yourself to this point, you have to go Medjai's, surely. I mean, on the back now, they should have 2 items. Yeah, Aurora backing now. Should have 2 items. Gonna pick up the upgraded boots soon, I'm assuming, after the next back they get. And I would hope that they pick up the Medjai's, because at this point, there's really no one else that can threaten you on Red side at the moment. They're just really... I think they're a little too far behind. Unless you get hit by absolutely everything, there's enough threats on Smallbrain side that you don't really have to worry about getting blown up, and you're not the one initiating the fights anyway. So generally, you're not going to be the first target. So I think Medjai's would be a good pickup here to see, I think.
Yep.
Still only 4 point. I mean, I say only. Up to like almost 5K gold difference now.
It feels like the
Uh, I,
gold lead is bigger than it really is. But
yeah. Typically it feels like that. I also think one of the big differences is just the level leads. They kind of have level leads across the solo lanes. They're up in XP on their jungle and AD, and support is 2 levels up as well. I mean, I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but you have to imagine they're going to be able to set up and effectively take this Articon with the lead that they have right now, and that's just gonna. I think if Small Brains gets Articon, the game might just be over. Especially with just how much their levels are going to explode. And I think at that point, as much gold as you can get, you're just never going to get enough XP and levels to be able to fight them at any point without a severe numbers advantage. So, I don't know. Is there anything you can see from Red Side that they might be able to do to try come back into this game?
maybe a Morgana binding. If you could get that onto Aurora, who doesn't have the cleanse, then get some good follow up with a Victor stun, a Xayah root, get that shutdown over. Maybe that's something for you. There's always the classic Otacon flip. You just hope you can secure that and hope with the resistance is shredded, you can maybe get a decent fight there. Looks like the call is going to be to play for the side lane though. This is
Probably
one of
just give
those
up the
games.
Articon. I think it
Zima
would.
just
Oh,
walking in
or,
one versus two, now one versus three. Morgana is popped, and the Chaos Storm is popped from Ghost Tiger as well,
it does
really
look like
just
you're
to
gonna
clear
go
the
for a
wave.
dive here, though.
Maybe
I
they
think
can
they're
do
gonna go for a
that.
dive.
War Initiate has snuck in, does have the flash. Oh, flash stuns the
Oh,
tower, and Zima walking out for now, but is going to be
but they get
popped
the
down.
shutdown.
Yeah, do get the shutdown on the Victor. That is crucial. On the other side of the map, they're taking the Otacon. So a little something back for the side of Insane Banana Posse. And Vic the Butcher is taking a bit of damage here. Flashes forward, misses both of the abilities, dodged away from Ghost Tiger, but goes unstoppable. Forces the flash out of Victor himself. That Volley Bear, he was stacking up lethal tempo and wailing on the Cassante that entire time. So 2 kills back, and I guess the overloading the side has worked out well for Insane Banana Posse as they're going to turn their eyes towards yet another tower.
Very good play there from Insane Banana Posse. I was thinking they were setting up for the dive. The Aurora manages to get the pop-off onto the Morgana, but it doesn't matter at that point because they can still dive afterwards. Small Brain is going to get some back here, but they were going to get this anyway. So I think getting the 2 towers top plus the shutdowns is, especially getting the shutdown onto the Victor here. You can see the Victor is now level, if not slightly ahead in items. I don't know about gold, but
Collapse coming on
they
through.
are.
Thresh all day, flashing forward. War Initiate's in the area as well. Monogratery forced to cleanse Flash, but he is still going to fall. One-handed gaming securing that shutdown with the unstoppable onslaught. And now, just like that, Insane Banana
500
Posse,
gold.
in insane fashion, they cut the lead down to 500. And it's exactly where you want it too. This Victor has picked up some gold. This Xayah has picked up some gold. Volley Bear, getting tanky. We see Scion finally has the coal finished. This is great looks for the side of Insane Banana Posse to really continue to accelerate this game and bring themselves back in because they do have great scaling.
Yeah, I mean, now the only real big advantage that Small Brain has is in the top lane, but even then, it doesn't really matter when you get into a team fight scenario. I think this might be one of those cases where you're so far ahead, you might just switch off for a play or two, and we see that happen all the time in games. But that isn't to say that Banana Posse, Insane Banana Posse, hasn't played this sequence of events incredibly
Yeah.
well.
I'm going to
Um,
pause real quick because we are in the middle of a 2-minute ad. So that way we can, it looks like there's going to be some action breaking out at the Drake fight. So I want to make sure we cover that with our very loyal viewers, of course.
our very loyal bot viewers.
Now we got Connor in the chat.
Hell yeah. Get Connor in here, dude. Why is he not in here?
I don't know. He may be gaming. I think that is Connor. Get wrecked, brah. I don't know.
I have no idea, to be
Just
honest.
talking about how the casters seem crazy knowledgeable. I mean, duh. The smooth, sultry voice of Sam Lad. Also, duh.
Oh, I do commissions for nighttime video messages, audio messages.
Mm,
Yeah,
interesting.
just, putting it out there.
Oh, I'm sure someone will take you up on that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is shaping up to be a fun game at least. It would have been sad to see your game one stop, but it does tend to happen that I mean, at our level of play, we're not all like challenger level, like semi-pros. So generally, even at that level, sometimes when you're ahead, you might switch off a bit. You get a couple of good plays on the other team, give them some shutdowns on crucial pieces, and it just makes the team fights afterwards that much easier to fight. And as we said before, Insane Banana Posse does have just a stronger late game, particularly in the mid lane. So if that Victor can stay alive in these fights, uh, I think it's just going to be really good for them. This is also one of the reasons why I didn't want Victor to go Rod of Ages.
Hmm.
As much as it would make him tanky, I just don't. I would prefer that you build damage when you're in a two threat comp, even if at the chance of you potentially dying, because even then, if you're building too much uh, tankiness or health and you're left alone in these fights, you still
You
don't
just don't have
really.
that damage. All right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
go ahead
can't.
and play. Ad is over. Drake spawning in 10 seconds. We'll see how it plays out for these two teams. Gathering around the Drake. This is the fourth Drake of the game. Two on the side of Small Brains. Seen some abilities traded out. Dredgeline connects onto one-handed gaming. War Initiate charging on forward. Gets the stun on Zima, but taking a lot of damage in the process. Forced to ulti backwards. And now Small Brains are
Oh,
collapsing. Fighting as five. They are a unit together. Picking up three. Monogatari going in for a triple kill and the fourth. And it's just the Scion left. And right as we talk about the game getting a little closer, Small Brains snap that door right back shut.
a little bit of hope on the side of Insane Banana Posse, but a bit of an overstep from War Initiate, and Ghost Tiger sees them just lose very convincingly a team fight around the Drake. The Drake's gonna go over to the side of Small Brain, which was to be expected beforehand. But now you gotta claw yourself back out of the hole that you just got yourself out of previously.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, it looked like they kind of had something going for them off those side lane plays, but we see this 5v5 team fight come into play, and yes, maybe the scaling of Insane Banana Posse is good, but at this stage of the game, I prefer the two-item Aurora Kaisa over the two-item Zaya Victor. They're just going to have so much more benefit from that more mid-game level power spike. And we see it on display there. A little bit of a misstep from the Volley Bear. Really just the dominoes start to fall after that. It's an easy
Yeah, and I
engage
think
from
we do
Hairwiz.
have to call out the Nami ulti. Oh,
Ulti
and we
coming
gotta
down
find.
in the mid lane. Zima just
Oh,
gets popped. Thresh all day. Flashing forward to trade it back onto Monogatari. So a trade of 80 carries, but Sema gonna pick up 10th kill of the game. Back to 10 Darksteel stacks as well. Just throws down that
that is.
Aurora ulti and that's it. But a great trade onto Monogatari as well. I mean, I don't even know what fully happened there. I think just a combination of
I think it
Featherstorm
was
and
the.
Morgul.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't get that kill over onto your Xayah, which is where you really wanted to be there. I think that gets the Xayah the third item if you manage to. But we get Volibear picked out here. I think you should be able to just walk it out. Should be fine.
Yep.
Um,
Vic the
yeah, I
Butcher.
mean,
Level 16 on this Cassante. I think another crucial part, maybe a little more unspoken of the small brain squad, has just been quietly building up a massive lead over one-handed. And come these
yeah,
team
I
fights,
mean,
that's a beefy wall to stand in front of.
yeah, I don't think he's been doing it too quietly, to be honest. He's been.
Ulti
Oh, and we
coming
got.
through, Killer Instinct out of Monogatari, Ghost Tiger, just gonna
Oh,
get popped there. So Aurora,
yeah, that's typically not where you want your Victor to be.
yeah, I
Is
think, you
pushed up in the side lane.
really don't know where the rest of the team is. Vic the Butcher may be getting a little bit caught out here. Root's not going to connect, though. He's going to be able to walk that one out. Hook coming through from Hairwiz. He wants to go now. Monogatari's in the area to follow while Vic the Butcher is tanking up the rest of the backline. Ulti onto one-handed gaming, and despite that Scion being the tank, he is going to fall. And a TP from Zema on the
Oh,
backside. He wipes up the bottom lane of Insane Banana Posse. Double kill and a full map ace coming through from Small Brains. They are going to be able
oh,
to march this one on through and take game one.
yeah. I mean, just great play. I think Zema, you just have to give the MVP for this game. Just really well played across the board, even with one or two missteps here and there. Uh, Practically everything else was done by the book, done incredibly well. And I don't think there's anything that Victor can do here to stop this end. I mean, a bit of a hiccup from Small Brain, but at the end of the day, they managed to get the dub, and that's all that really matters.
100%. So both carries coming through with double-digit kills. Small brains just executing well from start to finish. Felt like every single gank in the early game went their way. That helped get Zema accelerated, and then Zema was able to take that lead, push it around the map. 23 out of 28 KP on a mid laner is insane work, and the whole squad there just doing what they could to help keep their team in it and take. I'm gonna call it a dominant game one, despite maybe that little hiccup and
No,
great
definitely dominant. You ending
clawback.
the game in 26 minutes. That's a dominant game one.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, there was a little bit of a clawback out of Insane Banana Posse, which does give me hope for game two. You know, playing through maybe the side lanes and taking
Yeah,
advantage there. But
I
we'll
guess
see
if
what
they can just
adaptations
clean
are
up
made.
their if they can just clean up their tracking, especially around the mid lane, maybe protect the mid laner a bit better with some wards or just just clean up the early game a little bit. I mean, there that's really what you want to see from your mid laner when you invest so much into the mid lane to get him gold and XP is just him return the favor with blowing up the entire enemy team. But I could see Insane Banana Posse do something here if they can just get through the early game. They did seem to have a couple of good plays here and there, and I think getting their jungler onto something that isn't Volibear or just can play the team fights a little. Because there I was when we watched that fight around the river, the Volibear, what else could he do besides just stand next to his team? Because he can't really engage. He's gonna get blown up. And I think there was something I was trying to mention before a lot of fighting went down was that the Nami might have been an underrated pick there, especially around that river fight when Volibear went in. Nami threw the ulti on top, forcing Volibear to ulti early, and they managed to blow him up, making it a 4v5, and then just running over the fight from there. So just well played from Small Brain, but I do want to see a closer game too.
100%. I'm gonna take a quick little break before we dissect, the game two draft. It's happening right now, so I'll leave it up on the screen. I'll be back in like 3 to 5 minutes. Just gonna grab some water, go to the bathroom, and we'll get back into game two for some action.
Sounds good.
All right, I am back. Excuse
Hello,
the
hello.
absence there. Howdy.
Draft is finished.
Yep, we can take a look at that. Small
How do you
brain.
feel about Makai Sport?
Yes, Maokai support. I'm not that much of a fan of it. I think, especially in a game two fearless, there are a lot of picks that do better. The one justification you may have for it is if you are like flexing it jungle. Taking a look at the game though, this Wukong once again first picking the jungle on the side of small brains, so you're not really accomplishing, I guess, as much as I would hope with the flex pick. And then back to kind of my initial thought is a lot of engaged supports do what you want out of a Maokai better. Uh,
Yeah,
Rel is open, Leona's open,
Alistair,
Alistar is
Leona,
open.
yeah,
Yes, it's just really easy zone control is kind of why you would pick it. But in this case, not too big of a fan of it. I think I would have liked to see more other kind of traditional picks out of the side of small brains, but it does give you very easy zone control to play around, and that's kind of why you pick it. Pair it up with an Ornn as well. You have a very straightforward, easy to execute team fight yet again. So I definitely see the vision.
yeah. I suppose now that we see the past league MVP picking Renekton at least, so we're not putting him on a tank. Um, but we'll see how well he pilots the Renekton into the Renekton on matchup. I want to see something big from Insane Banana Posse right now. I would like to see a nice get back, just because I want to see 3 games. So maybe I'll be a little bit more biased towards Insane Banana Posse, but I will say, as a non-biased observer, I do like their draft slightly better, mainly because of the lack of Maokai support. I think I'm very much against the environment, so seeing trees in the rift really upsets me, and having a Maokai in the bot lane upsets me greatly.
Yep, that's for no other reason. I 100% get that, yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was just never a fan of FlyQuest, so just anything to do with trees
just get him
just
out of here.
severely pisses me off. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. We're jumping into draft a little later, so taking more of a holistic look right now. I think small brain. The one thing I'm maybe a little worried about with this draft is you don't have as easy to execute damage. I think you had a very clear follow-up damage with the Aurora and the Kaisa in game one. The Zarya and the Ahri, yes, they're going to be right there in a very similar style comp, but maybe more damage coming out of the Wukong and the jungle role than game one. And
yeah,
Insane Banana, they got a great little scrappy team for themselves all
yeah.
around.
I guess the one thing I will question is the Tristana pick. I don't know if I like the Tristana pick with the Seraphine as much. Just purely because it seems like their fight. I mean, Tristana can play the back to front, the front to back team fight, but generally, I'd assume you want to pair the Tristana with some sort of kill lane. Like, it seems like the Seraphine and the Tristana want to do two different things in lane, but it can obviously still work out. It's just not my preferred pairing in the bot lane, especially into a Maokai sport. You
Same
want to
with
have
Maokai.
that lane pressure because the Maokai is going to be a lot weaker in this lane than the Nami was last game. But I guess we can say that Fidsick for Small Brain has a type, and that type is supports with big ultis that slowly move their way towards the enemy team.
2 game sample
So I
size.
guess
Yep.
if this goes to a game three, we're probably going to see a Renata.
Something like that. Yeah. Loving the
Yeah,
prediction. I to expand on your Tristana point, I 100% agree. I think I would have much preferred a traditional hyper carry. You're not really having much kill pressure onto a Maokai lane as the Tristana. The one good part about the Maokai support is it does have great disengage with that Maokai Q and W, easy point and click CC to get divers off your carry when it's just one individual squishy diver in the Tristana. So something like, Sivir, Jinx, just traditional hyper carry I think would have been a good fit and, let you kind of handshake the lane and then go into mid game pretty even and probably a little advantage because you do have something like the Seraphine giving you poke through the lane. But
Yeah, I suppose the one thing that you could say is that the Tristana is really good at taking turrets. If they get any sort of foothold in the bot lane here with the range support, and I'd assume they would get a push advantage, they should be just hammering that turret, ideally. So I'd want to see the Jarvan play around bot here. Top lane, Renekton into Ornn. I mean, you could try and get Renekton ahead, but I don't think the Renekton, unless uh, the Renekton is just going to absolutely take over the game. The more surefire bet, in my opinion, is definitely just to play around this bot side, especially with your Sylas
yep,
having. I'm not gonna say I don't think the Sylas ever really gets kind of prio unless you can threaten the Ari, which is something you can do early, but generally a good Ari will use the W movement speed to dodge the Sylas. I can't really say much because I just always int into Sylas, but if you're better than I am, you probably dodge the Sylas early, get early lane control, poke out the Sylas, and play from there. So I would like to see the Jarvan play around the bot lane purely because I think if you're going to pick Tristana, you definitely want to play around Tristana's ability to just demolish turrets.
yep,
Kind of like a budget like Caitlyn Lux style comp where you're just constantly hammering the turrets.
I get that.
Um,
Yeah. I also like the
yeah.
Silas pick this game. I feel like it gives
Yeah,
you
into
something to really
Maokai,
skirmish
Ornn,
around mid jungle.
Wukong, Ahri. Yeah.
Great Silas pick, all these ultis to steal, and then Ghost Tiger should be able to kind of fight back in these mid jungle 2v2s that we saw break out maybe a little bit last game. And so maybe teaming up with War Initiate on the Jarvan to help make a little more action happen early in that 2v2 and then transition that into a bot lane lead. That's kind of what I'm looking at because your top lane should be winning the Renekton into the Ornn. Um, not winning too hard, but should be a good matchup for you to leave alone. And then
Yeah.
from there, it'll be kind of a favored mid jungle this time around for Insane Banana Posse. We'll see how Hairwiz is able to kind of clap back into that. But outside of that, another good draft out of both sides. No real big issues with them. Maybe a little bit of funky stuff, nitpicks here or there with the Maokai and Tristana, but overall, in
Yeah, but
terms
even
of comp
overall, yeah.
cohesion, it's very clear what both sides want to do.
Yeah, and I just would love to see the comps, especially Insane Banana Posse, play to their strengths here. I think when you're just I would like to give the advantage to Insane Banana Posse just in that mid jungle 2v2, and I think they should leverage that power to help with an already winning bot lane. I mean, you generally pick the Renekton as like a blind just to be good in lane, and even then, in the early levels, Renekton should be winning, so you shouldn't worry too much about that unless the Renekton just runs it down or gets ganked on repeat and gets really put far behind and it becomes kind of useless. But I'm assuming when you're putting a lot of pressure around the mid and bot side, which I think Insane Banana Posse should be doing, that Small Brain won't really have the resources to be sending top lane for this Renekton. They can just passively win. So I am interested to see how this goes. I also think it comes down to Ghost Tiger and how he plays the mid lane matchup here because I want to see something good from him. I thought his Victor was solid, but I think he could do better.
Action already popping out as Ghost Tiger getting the Chain Lash onto Fidsick. That's a big chunk, and Maokai's going to be late to lane now. A lot of action
Yeah.
getting traded back level 1 here.
Yeah, and then I mean, I guess this should already give bot lane, even though they were gonna have the push early, this should just cement the fact that they will be having push in the bot lane and just kind of ultimate lane control. And into a Wukong, I don't think they really have any worry for gank threats because with the Tristana jumps, you can get out of there, and with a pre-6 Wukong, there's not much you have to worry. So I really want to see them just kind of get lane control and just start hammering away at this turret.
Agreed, yeah. We'll see how that pans out. I don't think it's going to be too hard winning where they can easily approach the tower until, much later. Junglers once
Yeah.
again starting on opposite sides. I think this is just something Hairwiz likes to do. I guess is the Wolves start.
Yeah,
Probably
I guess
just
like you said before, probably just gives him better flexibility. I think I would have preferred to see Jarvan start topside here, to be honest. Just because I want to see the Jarvan protect the bot lane from any sort of shenanigans, because you want your bot lane just to be in a spot where they can play the lane and threaten fights, and just like exert the control that they should passively have in the bot lane. But I mean, I don't think there's too much threat from a Wukong pre-6 unless they get really chunked out bot lane, which I don't really see happening with a Maokai. Unless they get a good... I mean, Maokai does have Ignite, so maybe they just pop the Ignite early just to get
a good
them low
trade.
enough
Yeah.
for a gank to work, yeah.
Yeah. Not expecting necessarily too explosive of an early game. I think mid game will kind of open things up, maybe similar to last game. I do want to touch on one-handed gaming going for longsword refillable rather than a traditional Doran's blade start or
I mean, yeah, I can see that
de-shield.
happening. He's gonna get his item earlier, and the Dorn's Blade, it's not like it really needs it for the lane. We see a big chunk of the bot lane there. That's Ari getting hit by the E.
Yep.
That's typically there's an interesting little interaction between Ari Silas matchup where depending on who hits the E on either side first, the other actually might end up winning that exchange. So if Ari hits the E first and Silas throws out his E before the charm hits him, he can still travel to the Ari while he's charmed and then come out of the charm as he gets to the Ari and he wins the trade. But if Ari can throw out her E as she gets hit by the Silas E, she cancels the Silas E. So it's kind of like one of those fun little mini games with like when top laners play Fiora into any kind of like champion with CC and whoever clicks their button first loses.
May have
While
some
it gets
action breaking out in the mid lane here. Ghost Tiger walking up. Both junglers took the scuttle. Crucially though, Fidsick on the roam may make the difference if a fight is to break out here.
Yeah, I think they should
Push.
know about that.
Calling the
Yeah, they
recall.
should know.
Ghost Tiger does go
Oh,
forward. It's going to be a 2 versus 3. Flash root out of Fidsick. Pushes Ghost Tiger under
oh.
tower. That's going to be a kill. War Initiate flag dragging in means he has to flash out. So great pounce play. Once again, Fidsick getting out on the map, getting a roam, and helping Zema in this mid lane.
Yeah, that is just unfortunate. I do think that Ghost Tiger there should be probably more aware of the fact that Maokai has left bot lane and could potentially be around mid. Um, as much as I think that they just have weaker early game champions, I still think if you have 5 people in your lane, not 5, 3 people ganking you, you're probably dying. And I guess it's just unfortunate there that he's forward and he gets pushed into the turret to take extra damage, so he just can't get out as
Yeah.
easily. But
That one's just props to Fidsick. That's
yeah,
that's a timer. You know, Cracklier and Thresh all day. We're probably calling that the bot lane backed, and so the Zeri did recall with the Malkites. Hold that thought. One-handed gaming flash forwards, ticks over to level 6, and gets the solo kill. See you later, alligator.
and he
One-handed
does that
gaming
with a
clapping
big
back.
ass wave under the turret. Just really well played from the Renekton there. Yeah, who needs a Doran item?
There it is, the longsword, that 10 AD coming in handy. Uh, back to me gassing up Fidsick there. Well-deserved glaze, you know. Great timer because everyone else thinks you're on a recall. You just delay your back, roam mid instead. It's a bit of a gamble because if that doesn't work, you do give up some lane pressure, but with the flash route, makes it happen. And one-handed gaming on the top side. Great kill angle onto the counter pick Ornn. I believe it was it counter pick Ornn?
I'm actually not sure. I think,
Okay.
hold on, let me.
Well, regardless,
It was
slicing,
counter pick
dicing on in, recognizing he does have the kill angle there, and then barely getting out as well by ticking over to level 6 and Triumph coming through. That was textbook solo kill. Great stuff out of one-handed gaming, and we'll see if this Crocodile is able to continue to accelerate as maybe like a shining hope for the early game of Insane Banana Posse.
Yeah, I mean, here now, this is one of those cases where you want to adapt to the lane state, to the game state here. Your Renekton is ahead by a lot, I might say. He is up, I mean, just look at the items at the minute. Because he didn't start the Dorn's item, he got extra gold to go closer to his next item. So I might want to see the Jarvan start playing around top here, maybe trying to accelerate the Renekton and leveraging that power around the map. But on your point, I think something that we can both agree on, and I think you love to gas up supports, is that I do think Fitzik played really well last game as well. He was a lot less underrated because the Aurora was just kind of going off and one-shotting everyone. It was a lot more flashy, but I think he's been playing just generally really well. So, yeah, I'm just gas up your supports.
Yeah, I'm
They will help. They will come gank you if you gas them up.
gonna do my part. Ghost Tiger TPing in the bottom lane there to help secure the Drake. Smart play out of the Insane Banana Posse mid laner. You see in the bot lane, this Zeri does have, you know, a little bit under a 10 CS lead. Doing well, getting the push, getting the poke. Bot lane's mostly going to be about scaling. I'm kind of curious about the next fight that's going to break out. Maybe more so around the mid lane, top lane, as we do see Zema and Herwiz collapsing in the top lane. One-handed gaming gets hit by the Ornhorn, gets charmed up by Zema. And that should be an easy kill for Small Brains. Gonna give it over to Herwiz with that Wukong staff slap down. Just great use of the ultis to help gap close, and one-handed gaming really can't do anything from there. They do drop about a wave and a half in the mid lane though, so Ghost Tiger getting a little bit of gold back.
Yeah, just well played from Smallbrain. They managed to stem the bleeding that was coming top. Renekton loses a lot of minions there on that death as well. It wasn't just giving over the gold. But there's a cannon to hopefully tank up a lot of the turret shots, but it does sound like they're going to lose a lot in the top lane. Yeah, this is kind of what I mean by I want Jarvan to maybe play around the Renekton a bit more when the Renekton just passively getting a lead.
Mm-hmm.
You want to just see, you know, more out of him, but you know, they got the Drake bot lane as well, so.
Crackler Ace jumping on forward onto Zema. The Seraphine ulti comes on through the Tristana. Extended range is just enough for the kill. What a great play out of the bot lane of Insane Banana Posse. Recognizing Ahri with no ulti, there's a window to punish, and even through the flash, Thresh all day uses the Encore, goes through the Tristana, who has enough damage to finish that one off. Grub's going over to Hairwiz and Small Brains, but both these teams blow for blow, 2 for 2 kills, one major objective each, and the action's not stopping as Fitzik flashes on in, drops the Twisted Advance as well. Tristana with that rocket jump is going to be able to get out, so just a very aggressive use of summoners and abilities there out of the Maokai. And now not going to have those for potentially the next dragon fight.
Yeah,
as
maybe a
Crackler
little bit
Ace
of a
just
hope
walks
this
on
way.
out.
But that's what you like to see when you exert your dominance there, you know?
Monogonery wants to smoke in the bottom lane, pops the ulti. Ghost Tiger took the Zeri ulti back, so he's going to be able to walk that one off. Silas a little low on mana, but does go forward with the Chain Blast, dodges the Zeri W, still trading forward back with some autos and forces the flash out of Monogatari. Collapse coming on through from the Ahri. We see the Spirit Rush is popped. Should be an easy gap close from here. No mana on Ghost Tiger. Tries to flash out, but Fitzik in the area. Going to be able to secure the root. War Initiate coming on in with the Cataclysm, locking down the Maokai under tower. So another trade of kills yet again, 3-3. These teams still going blow for blow, but crucially, hold that thought. Hairwiz canceling the rocket jump with the Cyclone. Another kill going over to them. So Feat of Warfare and 4 kills over to Small Brains. And trading in the top lane, it is action everywhere. The Ornhorn comes on through. Dominus popped out of one-handed gaming, flashes forward for the stun, but the clap comes on through from Vic the Butcher. And Small Brains, after all that, end up on top of the play.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the reason for the counter pick. Just really well played from Smallbrain there. They are now, what, 1.5k up, roughly?
About, yeah.
Yeah, just really well played from them across the board there. The cancel on the jump mid, really well played. Waiting for the jump to start before you click your ulti, as opposed to clicking it while the jump is going so that they get the buffer off. Now, Insane Banana Posse is kind of in the same spot. This generally, I guess, in both games, it seems to happen around the 10-15 mark is when the teams really start throwing themselves at each other. So,
yeah, I mean, in the mid lane, in the side lane, a lot of action happening there. Just good roam down from the side of Small Brains to the bot lane. That's what made the difference to me after some chunks in the mid lane. Maybe Insane Banana Posse staying around too long. And just a great punish there from all members of Small Brains. Zema and Hairwiz especially gap closing on in for those kills. One-handed gaming looking for the stun. Ghost Tiger misses the Chain Lash though. Does steal the Spirit Rush, but the Fitzik Maokai ulti is coming on through. Does connect onto the Silas. as well as the Renekton, and so an easy kill onto Ghost Tiger is forcing the flash out of Hairwiz, who has to give chase due to the Spirit Rush getting stolen. But Silas falling down for death number 3. And the rest of Insane
Yeah.
Banana Posse just watching as Zema going in for more as well. Cataclysm down onto the Ahri, who just ultis on out. Now Monogatari going forward. The side of Banana is able to walk it out still, but Dragon up. They're going to turn their eyes towards that. Chunked health bars from Insane Banana Posse, as well as the member advantage with Silas falling down. Drake should go over to Hairwiz Wukong. Vic the Butcher still toying with him with these knockups as TP coming on in from Ghost Tiger. The action does not stop. One-handed gaming flashing on forward with the stun as War Initiate looks to follow, but Vic the Butcher trading his flash out. All ultis down, so not much tools to continue the fight. And that will finally be the end of yet another crazy mid-game skirmish.
Yeah, I think one thing we have to mention is that Insane Banana Posse is trying to make a lot of really, I wouldn't say, I mean, I guess like ill-advised plays. They're trying, the Sylas and I think it was the Renekton are going in on the mid lane there on the Ahri with no vision behind them, so they don't know where the enemy team is. And they're bringing the Renekton mid to play for the dragon. I think you could see they were setting up for the dragon, that's why they brought him early. So they should know that the enemy team is also bringing their players around that area. So I think maybe just a little over-ego on the side of Insane Banana Posse, but I don't think they're out of this game. It might feel worse than it actually is in-game, but I think they still have a lot of tools to play these fights.
100%.
It will get harder for them, though, I will say, with an Ornn and Zeri on the other team.
Yeah.
There is the scaling aspect you have to worry about a little bit. I mean, it's not like...
Looking in the top lane here. Does have the Wukong ulti up to help try to get the kill on the one-handed, who pops the Dominus, gets the heal up, but is it going to be enough as the knockup doesn't come through from the Ornn, but does come through from the Wukong, so is able to get the kill there. Yeah, I think Banana, they still have a way to fight back, especially if they can play together. You know, the Sylas has great ultis to steal. If Ghost Tiger can get these fights off with the rest of the team, buy some space for Crackler to hit, you still have great damage going over. And, I mean, I think more damage from everywhere in the map to help trade that back on fourth. Zema getting a charm there, but we'll see if those adaptations are made in these coming fights.
I think if Insane Banana Posse can just clean up their side lane a little bit, just like play to their vision instead of really pushing up when you don't know where the enemy is, I think they do have a really good chance in this game. But that also comes down to the fact that the difference in support here is that Insane Banana Posse support is that squishy Seraphine who has to go in and try and get vision with her team, so you kind of need an escort for her, whereas the Maokai can throw the saplings to get vision. He's just incredibly annoying, especially back when AP Maokai was really strong. I remember watching, you know, the old LMU team play against them and just getting absolutely rolled by a AP Maokai.
Whatever, man. Ghost Tiger going in for a trade on the bot lane. Zema popping the ulti. The Malignance ticks are coming down, but Sylas able to heal through a little bit of it.
Ahri
Walks
does
on
lose
out
the
for now, but
spine.
Chain Lash forward, getting the Kingslayer heals, and Ahri forced to flash out. Ghost Tiger having his way in this side lane so far. As one-handed looking onto Vic the Butcher. A Maokai ulti coming through as Hairwiz diving into the back line. Cyclone gets popped, gets the kill through the flash. Fitzik flashing forward for more, and Cracklear flashes out. Monogatari flashes forward. They're trying to give chase here. The Tristana barely able to waddle on out, but with no Seraphine, the top side of Bananas are getting corralled under this tower. Looks like call is just going to be to go for the Herald as Ghost Tiger gets DP'd on by Zema. You think it's Zema or Zema?
Probably.
I hope
I mean,
I
I
haven't
would
been
say
butchering
Zema,
that.
but I don't know. I don't know how you guys pronounce it, but I would probably pronounce it Zema. But
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. As ooh, there's the double E interaction coming through.
yeah,
Silas
I mean,
still
Zema's
getting
really
on top
playing
after the charm.
this matchup really well with their charms. Just really hitting the charm every time the Sylas throws out the E. Like, just really well timed. You can see he's probably more comfortable in this matchup than I
Oh,
am.
but the Ariel is stolen as Ghost Tiger jumps on forward. Spirit Rush still down for Zema, and a solo kill over to Ghost Tiger.
I'm so sorry, Zema. I should have kept my mouth shut.
Amlad, his first caster curse maybe ever. First of many that are sure to come. as Ari falling down on the side lane. And maybe this is a bit of a window that the Bananas can capitalize on. You know, playing through these side lanes, like you said, this Silas seeming to have his way. Once that Roa comes through, I think is especially going to be favored. Renekton,
Yeah, I
once
mean,
Black Cleaver's already in, you know, should have ability to get pushed into the Ornn. That's a great window for them.
yeah, I mean, really well played there from Ghost Tiger. I think this is what I wanted to see from him after that first game. And even though he has 3 deaths, I think he is playing these side lanes pretty well. He might be a little overzealous in some of these skirmishes, not having full vision of what they can do. But I think now they're taking vision early, which is what I like to see. They have more information. They kind of know where the enemy team is coming from, and I think they can make a more informed decision on the fight. And it does look like they're posturing for a fight here.
Ooh, Chain Lash catches out Zema. That forces the Ari ulti out early before the fight even starts. One-handed gaming TPing on in a little bit of danger, and the fight breaks out. Cyclone in the backside from Hairwiz. The Renekton is caught out. Wukong forced to flash out. Two-man Cataclysm on the top side of the map from War Initiate, who flashes out himself, and now Ghost Tiger's in the backline, wreaking havoc. Crackler Ace jumping on forward, looking for more. Yordle jump after Yordle jump. He's going in, finally jumping out. Both members in and out of the fight. Ghost Tiger going in for more, trying to heal up through it. Charm onto the Tristana, but it's not going to be enough as Crackler picks up the triple, jumping in for more, going on to Fitzik, picks up potentially a fourth. There's the Quadra, 4 versus 1. Crackler Ace has the reset, jumping on forward. Vic the Butcher, not going to give it to him though. The Buster Shot's not quite enough, but a Quadra kill for the Tristana as she cleans house in that fight.
Just insanely well played there from Insane Banana Posse. They just had way more information in that fight, and I just want to give a big shout out to Ghost Tiger there for the ulti, as well as War Initiate, for like the double ulti, Ornn ulti into Jarvan ulti, getting massive damage on the enemy team, allowing Tristana to jump in and just get reset after reset after reset. And you can't not mention that Crackler Ace should have gone to Penta there. I mean, just really well played. He waited for all the CC to be gone, and then he just kind of leapfrogged across the entire enemy team, getting one reset after the next. Really well played from Insane Banana Posse, and I think this gives them a big in back into the game.
Yeah, that was a great fight. I mean, Silas was able to pretty much force Ari out of the fight at the start, so you're looking at a 4 versus 5. So despite a great engage coming out of Hairwiz, hold that thought, as one-handed gaming maybe overstaying in the top side. Another Cyclone knockup going to come on through, and this kill is going to be donated over to Monogatari. It's a bit aggressive out of the Crocodile, but back to that big team fight. Ari's out of the fight at the start, and so yes, that Wukong hits a great Cyclone, but the rest of the team fight tools of Insane Banana Posse come on through. We see the Cataclysm, the Seraphine Encore, Renekton and Silas in the backline, and then Tristana playing that nice edge beautifully, jumping in what looked maybe a little aggressive, but able to get the reset, jump on out, jump back in, and picking up 4 kills along the way. That is great work out of your AD carry, and exactly what you want for Bananas as they're looking to scale, you know, especially with that Tristana at the helm. Having that reliable backline damage in these coming team fights is going to be massive for them.
Yeah, I mean, just like insanely well played. Again, from Insane Banana Posse, they are just a little overzealous in the side lane, giving away picks here and there. But like you mentioned before, I think just more praise to Ghost Tiger, really helped get that Ahri out the fight. I don't think the Ahri had to be flanking there, honestly, because Ahri I think also functions decently well as kind of like secondary engage from a front line. She doesn't have to flank, because when you're flanking there, the only person you're really going for, I guess, is the Seraphine, but the Seraphine's pretty well protected. And you don't have anyone to really go in as deep with you to follow up. So I'd probably prefer in that instance for the Ahri to play with her team.
Yeah, especially, like, look at the comp. Maokai Ornn, you are looking to walk at them in a straight line.
Yeah.
And that's going to help set you up for a very easy charm. We'll see if something breaks out around this Otacon.
It looks like they are really pushing for this top turret. But small brain, maybe being big brain here, and also holding off the top turret while getting damage, possibly taking this mid turret. They're going to take this mid turret here as well. So, I mean, just good macro move there.
Ghost Tiger is 3 levels up on Zema.
That's Rod of Ages.
That Roa has ticked in. Yeah, that side lane is going to be all Silas.
Yeah, I mean, I think here you definitely want Ghost Tiger to do something. He is a lot of the advantage here, and it looks like Zeri is in a really
looking to drift on over, gets the stun on through, and the Encore comes through. Ornhorn does get canceled. Now Monogatari has kited back. Is going to be able to hit, but in comes Ghost Tiger. Gets popped under
Oh
tower, though,
no!
and the chase comes through from Small Brains. Hairwiz leading the charge, looking to go on forward, but the Buster Shot out gets the kill onto Monogatari. The explosive E there with the knockback, able to pick that one up. Insane from Crackler. Flash forward from Bidsick to continue the fight.
That
So
was just
ultimately,
crazy.
3-for-1 in the favor of Small Brains. Bit of an overzealous reach from Bananas, and now Otacon in the eyes of Small Brain.
Yeah, I guess just a theme for the game of insane, whatever, banana. What are they called again?
Insane Banana Posse. It's quite a
Insane
mouthful.
banana posse. Just they're making really good plays. They're just extending them a little too deep. Silas going under the turret there and not getting the kill. I think once the Zeri gets out, I think you just leave it. I think you just have to accept the fact that the Zeri has gotten out. You get the Renekton stun. I think we saw Zeri continue traveling even after she got stunned, which is a weird interaction that I haven't seen before. I thought she would
Yeah,
get like stunned out of her E, but I guess not.
agreed.
I
Maybe
guess
that
that's probably
created
what
some
Renekton's
chaos.
thinking as well. Yeah, because also at the same time, the Silas is the main playmaking and kind of the most fed member on Insane Banana Posse's side right now. You don't want him kind of going in by himself under the turret, but a great ulti from Tristana there to finish off the just the Zeri that Silas put his life down to get low.
Yeah, it's a bit deep. I think, especially with Zeri not having a shutdown a bit deep. Great layering of ultis, though. Expect to
Yeah,
see similar thing break out in this next fight from Insane Banana Posse. That Seraphine Jarvan combo can come in very nicely. I think a lot of
yeah,
this is going to come down to who is able to pull the trigger first and get the fight their way. As Vic the Butcher TPing on into bot lane, trying to secure the tower. Dragon up in 2 seconds here. Should be our next fight. Zema walking on forward, misses the charm onto Cracklear, and now that
that is
Spirit
already
Rush
ulti
is
out
going
of
to be
the end
down.
of the Dragon fight. Yeah.
Hairwiz looking forward onto War Initiate, pulls the ulti, and Charm goes through onto
Oh,
the Seraphine as Hairwiz flashing to
oh,
continue the
well
knock-up
played.
central. Zema in the backside getting some knock-ups as well. Monogatari kiting up in the top side, gets to the Jarvan and the Silas. And like I said, Small Brains, they're able to pounce first. Banana's just a
Yeah,
little bit split, pun intended, and they're able to get peeled apart pretty easily there. As War Initiate was on the side, a great charm onto the Seraphine. We see that ulti combo doesn't come through from the Bananas. Hairwiz able to just run through that entire fight with that Wukong knockup after knockup, buying space for the rest of his team. Monogatari, great kiting in the top side. I mean, what are your thoughts on that fight, Samlad?
I mean, I guess the theme of the game is just that any team that gets set up first around Dragon is just going to win the fight. I mean, really well picked out there, especially from Zema. Getting that kill onto Seraphine was massive. You can see Seraphine didn't flash and didn't use her ulti. So she does have that up for the next fight, but just a really good pick. That's exactly what you want to see your Ari doing. I think with her last ulti charge as well, she managed to get the max range E into Q kill. So I think that's really what swung the fight. Again, one-handed and Ghost Tiger going deep two-man into a four-man stack, while their backlines preoccupied. I want to see. It just seems like they have different ideas. They're on a little bit of different pages when it comes to the team fights. They just don't play or layer it as well as they did in that top lane fight with the Zeri. I do want to see. I just want to see more out of the Silas, particularly because I think he is the strongest member, and I think he can put in a lot of work, but I think he needs to play more with his backline. I don't think he necessarily has to dive every fight, because he's not going burst either. He's going kind of like that Bruiser AP build, and when you're going that Bruiser AP build, I don't think you need to jump in. I think also at the same time, you can just sit back and take the really good ultis on the enemy team, particularly Maokai ulti. I think starting the fights with Silas Maokai ulti is probably will probably serve Insane Banana Posse better than the Silas throwing himself into the middle of the enemy team.
Agreed. Yeah, and yeah, this Silas, it's still 2 levels up. Two
Yeah, well,
items, he
he's
can
still insanely strong. He
100%
has
wreak
5
havoc.
deaths,
That's why
but
maybe
yeah,
we're being a little more critical, because their Hairwiz and the rest of Small Brains are just getting the fights on their terms, and are going to continue
yeah,
to do so unless Bananas can kind of put a stop to that, maybe by playing a little more together. As plays
Yeah, I
looking
guess.
in the top side, Zema and Ghost
Ooh,
Tiger trading back very aggressively in the bot side. Once again, this
yeah.
Ari forced to ulti defensively, and the side lane
I mean, these
continues
two
to
have
be
just been
dominated by
fighting
Ghost Tiger.
the whole game. I think one thing we're not mentioning, same as game one, Vic the Butcher is just insanely ahead on one-handed, level 16 to 13. Um, and it's an Ornn ahead. This Renekton kind of just feels like an extra cannon minion in some of these fights, which is really tough to see because that's not what you want to pick the Renekton for. You want to pick the Renekton so that you're ahead.
Knock up
And
onto Thresh all day, who's forced to flash over the wall. Maokai ulti is still giving chase, though, is barely going to catch the Seraphine. And the follow-up with Vic the Butcher's Ornhorn is going to be enough. Hairwiz forced to pop the Cyclone, and now the Chaos breaks out. Ghost Tiger diving on into the backline, stunned from one-handed onto Monogatari, who does fall down. Flash over from One-Handed Gaming, who's looking for more. With no Zeri and with no Wukong ulti, this is going to be a wipe for the Bananas. They keep marching on forward, and what started off as a pick onto the Seraphine gets turned around with a separated, disaggregated Small Brains team. One-Handed Gaming and Ghost Tiger, this time they're able to pounce and really deliver some damage onto the backline.
that's exactly what I want to see from Ghost Tiger. He picks out the Maokai ult, and you see how much havoc it wreaks on the enemy team, allowing him to just jump in when the enemy team split. And I think, honestly, just like probably MVP of that fight, just purely on the grounds of picking Maokai ulti, and he's here trying to pick out the Ornn as well. And I think they can
Yeah,
get this.
he is going to be able to catch him. This Silas, it may take a little bit, but is going to chase him down.
Uh,
It's empowered Blast Cone, though, coming on through from the Chemtech Rift, is going to be enough to get him out of there. Dragon in a minute. Both sides have 2 apiece, but the Baron crucially going over to Insane Banana Posse. This is going to help him get some good setup before this next major objective.
yeah, I mean, I think this is just what we want to see. Insane Banana Posse getting set up again on this fight, which is actually really good for them, especially with this Baron. I do want to see them leverage the Baron a little
Ulti
bit.
coming on
And
through from Zema, though, and Crackler is
oh,
caught out. Monogatari flashed forward to secure it. So no flash on the Zeri, and one-handed, forced to run 3-man Maokai route with that ulti. Easy follow-up for the rest of the squad. Thresh all day, no flash from earlier. So 2 kills right back for Small Brains. One-handed on the Renekton dying as well. Bananas just not playing together. They're a little too split. You know, the bulk of their gold in this Silas is off on the side lane, and they were maybe posturing too aggressively to get that push in the mid lane.
yeah, I mean, just really well played from Small Brain there.
I feel like they just have the better read on kind of timings and mispositionings that we've seen
Yeah,
out
I mean,
of
I also
Bananas. They're
the
so
issue
good at
there is that
punishing that.
yeah, the issue is that Bananas are trying to get
Sema ulting on forward. Doesn't have the Spirit Rush. Ghost Tiger took the Ari ulti and is looking for more, but the root from Maokai may be enough to save him. But Ghost Tiger jumping on in under tower should be a little too deep as the flash to help secure it. Monogatari getting that kill back. But still side lane dominance from Ghost Tiger. This time, once again,
yeah,
answered back by Small Brains.
yeah, I can see Ghost Tiger is probably really trying to force the issue here, knowing that they need something to happen, but I don't think he has to force it that hard. He is just winning in the side lane, which is kind of expected, but like just to like bring it back to the mid lane play, they're trying to get Bananas are trying to get mid lane push, but putting the Tristana there alone when you don't know where the enemy pick is, which is the Ari. I mean, you'd assume that the Tristana can stay safe there, but it was just really well played from the Ari there to get the pick before the dragon fight. Um,
Yeah, she waited on
it's
that third
honestly,
ulti charge before
yeah, not
throwing the
even like
charm.
the worst call there from Bananas. I just think it was well played from Ari there to get the pick. Generally, because you're putting the Tristana mid thinking she's gonna be safe, right? So I think getting the charm there before you can buffer out with the Tristana jump. Uh, yeah, I mean, I still can see, even though they're 4K behind, they are 4K behind at 31 minutes. It's not as big as if it was them being 4K behind at 15 minutes like they were in game one. I think this should be a closer game, but I can see kind of similar to what happened in that mid lane there. One player getting picked on Banana's side and then just everyone getting steamrolled and watching Small Brain end the game. So I do want to see them be a little bit more careful, especially around this bot side jungle where they have zero control. I mean, I don't know.
Well, so, yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, I'm
Small
sure I
Brains
can,
are just suffocating
yeah.
them. As once again, looking for a play onto one-handed. Ulti's popped out of Hairwiz and Monogatari. It's going to be another pick onto this Renekton in the side lane, and an easy turn onto the inhib tower. Ghost Tiger still in the side lane. Zema hitting a charm
Oh,
onto Thresh all day. These two members just caught out back to back. And now it looks like Small Brains are sticking around, maybe looking for more.
I
Nothing
don't
else
think that was
really up.
planned.
Probably going to back up. Yeah, this is it's exactly what you said. What we can't have out of Bananas for them to stay in the game. They need to try to get more structured play together. You know, props to Small Brains for
Yeah.
really choking out the vision. You can see that bottom side of the map, how much blue wards there are and how little red wards there are. They are sticking around for more. Charm
Oh,
connects
good
onto
drama.
Cracklier. A trade of Ornn ultis back and forth. And a little bit of an opening to maybe hit the tower for some damage. But they're going to back up after all said and done. Now, this area is most of the damage, so if Ghost Tiger and War Initiate can get the collapse onto that marksman of Small Brains, maybe there's a hope there. And it looks like Ghost Tiger's trying to give chase as the rest of his team has respawned. Zema on the side as well. The Maokai ult is going to be taken, so that's going to help lead the charge. Clone to try to block it, but Vic the Butcher is going to be caught out. 3-man Cataclysm coming on through, but Ghost Tiger is getting charmed up, and in comes the rest of Small Brain. 2-man Encore to trade it back from Thresh all day. Crackler is hitting as much as he can.
Oh,
This Tristana is frying, jumps on forward, gets a reset onto Vic the Butcher. 2 kills over for the Tristana. She's looking for more. It's 3 versus 3 on both sides. Zema charming on forward, does get dodged out upon. But the inside track for Bananas onto the mid lane. This Tristana able to fry down that tower just like she was frying in the team fights. We'll see if they're able to pick up any more. Baron in 35. Next big objective of the game. And we'll see. I mean, these teams are just
what a
trading blow
nutty
for
season.
blow.
I mean, I think maybe we might be giving Bananas too hard of a time here. I think Small Brains is just playing it really well with how they're playing the vision game.
Hmm.
But that was just a good fight there from Banana, just kind of knowing that a lot of the ultis are down on Small Brain's side to be able to go for the play. It is a 2 for 2 at the end of the day, but it's also a 2 for 2 when you're on the back foot, right? You're not in a prime position to try and engage. You don't have everything you want in the team fight, so being able to get a good-ish fight there and getting Tristana some kills. I mean, Tristana at this point in the game is really putting in the work. I know we were talking about Ghost Tiger, but I guess the 8-2 Tristana should probably get more credit for how much
By
she's
now,
doing in this
yeah, I
fight.
think by this point in the game, it's going to be big. It's going to come down to some 80 carries. It's
And they're
ultimately to me
starting the
who's
Baron
able to
here.
start the fight off first, and that can speak a lot to maybe someone mispositioning. It's just going to be given over. So
Yeah.
maybe someone mispositioning gives an easy way to start the fight. Otherwise, that time Small Brains, they don't start the fight first. It's the Bananas. They're able to just pull the trigger, start the fight with that Ghost Tiger stealing Maokai ultimate, and then killing the Zeri crucially, because that is the bulk of the consistent damage on
Mhm.
Monogatari for Small Brains. Yes, Hairwiz is 8-1 on this Wukong. Cyclones in the backline like crazy, but in terms of those prolonged fights, it's a lot of Tristana versus Zeri just trading blow for blow.
Yeah.
So a Dragon for
Tristana
Baron
is
trade.
probably
Both
missed
teams
just
on 3
very
Drakes now, and they're marching towards the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, I guess using the fact that you have Soul Point on the side of Small Brains to be able to just get
2-man
the
knockup
inside
from Vic
track.
the Butcher, and in comes Hairwiz. 3-man Cyclone to follow on up. The knockup's coming on through. The Maokai root coming on through. Monogatari dashing forward, looking for more.
Oh
Pops the
my
Zeri ulti.
goodness.
Trading back. Gets a third onto the Tristana. Gets a fourth onto the Jarvan. Quadra
Is that
for
a
the
Penta?
Small Brains 80 carry. Maybe this time we can get the Penta. The Zeri ult has ran out, and it's just Ghost Tiger left, watching the rest of his team fall. They're going to give chase, but
They're
this
gonna give
one,
it
it
over.
doesn't look like it's going
Give it
over to the...
over!
It is going over
There
to
you
this area.
go.
Pentakill for Monogatari.
Finally see a Penta in one of these games.
The Zeri able to sweep up that fight. And after a lot of back and forth and some crazy blows, it's going to go over to the side of Small Brains. They take a 2-0 victory over Insane Banana Posse in Week 3 of the Midwest Sweat League.
Yeah, I mean, well played from both teams. I think there it was just definitively on the side of Small Brains. They played the macro game better. They played the pick game better. Shout out to Zema for getting some really good charms in some of those fights, and for Vic the Butcher just consistently being ahead in lane, going down one solo kill, but then just afterwards always being ahead on XP, always being ahead on gold, and just well played from the entire side of Small Brains. I saw a couple really good moments from Insane Banana Party there. I think if they just clean up a few points of their game, particularly their play around vision, because that was one of the big issues they had was just getting picked a lot from lack of vision and lack of control around objectives. They could be a really strong team. I mean, we might have given them too much of a hard time. That might be on me because I'm not as experienced when it comes to casting that I might just keep hopping on things that like the first thing that comes to my head. But it was just really well played from Small Brains, and there were a couple of really good moments from Insane Banana Posse that to get themselves into the game again and again and again, and that is a strength that they can build on, is being incredibly resilient as a team.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we see the power of Insane Banana Posse's team fights, and that's what makes this team scary is both games, despite being at deficits, they're still able to find these avenues back when they get these good team fights. Even at such a gold deficit in so many areas, Crackler Ace popping off, and they just when they get that structured team fight off, they play so well together. But this go around, Small Brains just getting the better of them. I'm going to shout out Hairwiz for this game. I mean, 8-1 and 19 on the
Yeah,
Wukong, 27 out of 31 KP. Exactly what you want out of a skirmishing jungler. I think a big part of building that space in those winning team fights for the side of Small Brain. And from there, we see the carries doing their work as well. Monogatari picking up that pentakill at the end, but in team fight after team fight, still making stuff happen. And Vic the Butcher and Fidsick are just very reliable characters, to help facilitate all that setup as well.
yeah. I mean, just well played from both teams, and I'm excited to see the next games from these teams as well. I think that's not the end out of Insane Banana Party. I think they have a lot more to show us, and I think they have a lot more that they can do. I think, especially Ghost Tiger playing some of those fights really well, maybe a little deep, maybe a little desperate for some of those fights, but I could see the vision, and I respect a mid laner that goes deep like that.
100%. Yeah, so lots to take from that week. Excited to see what both teams kind of have going forward as
Do
a
you
good
know
2-0.
what this does to the group that they're in? How it shakes around the standings?
So I think Small Brain that is their first win of the split. I think they actually had a bye before, and then Insane Banana Posse, that's their second loss of the split. So both these teams kind of fighting around that middle of the table mark, and I think have their eyes on playoffs. So this is just crucial win for Small Brain and just crucial series overall for Group A in terms of that playoff picture. Granted, it's still early and we're not sure how things are going to shake out, but you're looking at teams that are kind of middle of the table, maybe just early on, first 2-3 week impression, and so it's a pretty big shakeup and a big win for Small Brains for sure.
Yeah. And on the side of Tottenham, they're 1-0 down against a team at the bottom of the table, and they're losing. So my week might be ruined. This kind of sucks.
Oh goodness,
I might not be able to play the game later because I'm probably gonna have some time to cry, to be honest.
we're just gonna see a rage pick a collie coming out of Sam Lad in a few hours here.
Yeah, just pick me into me a mid, man. I can't be asked, bro. What the hell is this?
No way. There's no way.
I told you, Dr. Tottenham, dude. Any team that needs a win gets a win against us.
It'll deliver. Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and call it off there. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I know it was a bit of a smaller crowd today, but hopefully watch it back. We're always around for any feedback casting wise. We're both kind of a little more newer to this, so anything is welcome. But thank you everyone for watching. I know we have some more Midwest action happening tonight. Probably going to be streamed on this channel, and we'll hope to see you then. Later.